Welcome, welcome. I see a couple new names, but I know your names. Nice to see you on here today. This is great. Welcome. And I just want to say it means a lot that you guys continue to show up. Because you know what? I think that's the first step, showing up, right? Make an account. And we got Lindsay back, but she's hiding because she's not feeling well. Thanks for being here, Linz. Okay, so we're gonna get rolling here because it's already 11:02 and I got two guest speakers joining us, 11:20 and 11:40. So I don't want to take up their time and I just want to start diving into day 3, power partnerships. However, before I kind of kick it off with a little bit of my tips and some thought process to that, I also promised that today is the day I was going to share a bit more of my program with you. And this launches June 5th. It is a 1-year full program. It's hybrid, so it's online, but we also get together several times in the week for strategy, group sessions, you name it. It's like the full meal deal when it comes to having the opportunity to work on your business while also being in your business. And this is for the serious entrepreneur who is actually seeking guidance. Maybe you're tired of trying to figure it out all on your own. You're looking for community support. I feel like that's been like the number one feedback we've been getting too, but also having the opportunity to work together on strategy. Like, why be alone? Let's do things together. Let's get to work together. So we're going to be announcing the early bird, which gives you full access. There's also opportunity to have discounted marketing packages. We've been working on a few cool things to kind of really pull this whole program together. And this is near and dear to my heart because it's like finally happening after quite some time. But however, keep in mind, we are all here till Friday, but we also have those 2 extra bonus sessions coming up. Saturday, which is your financial bonus. And then Sunday is also the opportunity, if you don't get a chance to book in a one-on-one with me, just come hang out for a little bit on Sunday. It's an opportunity to have some Q&As there together. And I'll also be sharing the behind the scenes of the program as well. So I feel like this is the beginning of something beautiful together. So with that being said, are we excited for today? Getting ready to kind of dive in? I know, I feel like this has been us, right, Krista? All our text message, what is the little dancing like emoji? Right? I'm excited for today. As you already know, 2 people are going to be popping on as well. They're here to share their best practices, what's worked, not worked, their relationship with me, and also going to share their insights on like what has been like their best power partnerships. And if you know me, I've already been talking about this since day 1. You got to collaborate, you got to work with others, but you also need to find the right people that are going to be effective for all of you, right? But you also want people who are going to be in your corner. And what do I mean by that? Not just the good stuff, but what about like the other side of sometimes when it's not so good? We need those types of humans too. We need those people in our corner. And the 2 ladies who are going to be popping on today have been always in my corner. And over the last few months have definitely been in my corner, including Krista and Lindsay, during what would be pretty much a traumatic experience in my personal life. But to move forward in my career, to move forward in my personal life, it's the people that you surround yourself with that are there with you through it all. And I would mark that down. What is of value to you when you think about wanting to collaborate and work with others? That is like the number one thing. You need to be on the same page when it comes to your values, clients, how we're treating everybody. We want to make sure that we have a well-rounded group of humans that we can actually count on, and vice versa. Right? They're also going to get you. They're going to get access to you. The best of you is what I call it. And you want to have those partnerships in place. So I think to sit down with yourself, it takes some time too. And to be honest, it might take a couple little things where you realize, wait, this is not working with this human, but you want to give it your best shot. And that's okay. I feel like sometimes some people might just be stepping stones, whereas other people are going to be with you lifelong, which I think is probably the best type of partnerships, collaborations, relationships, friendships you could possibly ever have. So when I think about what would be kind of maybe some different kind of concepts when it comes to partnerships is finding, yes, people maybe you could create packages with. Don't do everything by yourself. And by working with other people, it exposes you to their network and also vice versa, right? You create nice win-wins there. So you want to make sure you have strength in both of that when it comes to creating packages. From there, maybe you want to get involved in charity, trade shows, events. I would also even lean on competition. And Katie was great to share this on day one on Monday, when she also actually said that she realized, Trina is right. Competition's okay. Competition breeds industry, you guys. And if you can't do all the things, make friends with your competition. We do this all the time. If we're not your makeup artist for XYZ, well, we also know these people. Please reach out to them. If we're not available for your wedding, we're fully booked. We know these people, reach out to them as well. Create your bubble. Don't just be working by yourself and alone. A, that's kind of boring. And B, don't you want to just kind of be out there also serving and really using your gifts, right? We all have a purpose here, and it's what? To serve our clients, to foster really strong relationships. And then there's probably a whole other list that's like a short list on my end that I'm sharing with you. But it's also, what do you want when it comes to lining all these things up? Now, how do we go finding people? This is usually kind of like, well, this is great information, Trina, but how do I find these people? And there's a few different ways you can kind of go about finding people. Old school networking. And this can make people feel a little scary, and that's okay. But here's the best part about networking events. Are you ready for it? They're probably there doing the same thing you are. Making friends, finding people that they can work with. That's the objective of anytime you go to a networking event. And I would write a few things down. If most of you are here in Alberta, you get access to Alberta Women's Entrepreneur. They have been the most supportive in my career over the last probably good 14 years. I've been in business for a while, started in Saskatchewan, and up in Alberta, long story short. But in Saskatchewan, I believe in Ontario, even in BC, there seems to be a women's entrepreneur chapter available in most provinces across Canada because it's government funded. This is also a bonus for you too, because it's not just networking, it's also getting access to other people who can help you write out, say, a better portfolio, a better resume. You're looking for financial assistance, they can help you because they're all about women entrepreneurs. So I definitely would get on their email list to see what do they have up and coming. They do get-togethers like this, but they also do in-person stuff, which I still enjoy, because that's in-person's like a different type of energy, right? When you actually get to kind of meet people. They are probably like my top #1 favorite to kind of stay in touch. They also offer different programs, different things to help with your personal professional growth too, which is amazing. ATB Entrepreneurs is also another one. There's also Business Link. And then the big kahuna of all the kahunas, BDC, Business Development Canada. That's for all entrepreneurs. But what's great about all these guys is that they're all communicating, promoting the same thing when it comes to women entrepreneurship, inclusivity. There's tons of different programs available. There's tons of different financial aid available. There's also tons of grants available for women entrepreneurs. You should check this stuff out, you guys. During COVID and the pandemic, more grants were also available. So you kind of had to jump through loops and hoops and apply for certain things. And I did that. But I also had my accountant help me out with some stuff because you obviously got to provide proof for XYZ to even participate in some of these programs. But there are things available to each and every one of you. And you need to find ways to kind of navigate to be like, these are also just a different side of partnerships of who can help fund, who can help me grow my business, scale my business. But then we also need the clients. I still view them as partners as well, right? You're involved in their journey, their wellness and beauty journey. Am I right? I can only see a couple of you. If you're feeling brave, turn your camera on, come hang out with us. Right? But then it is also the people you want to create. This becomes your work family, maybe a few work wives. Again, so you're not doing all these things by yourself and what feels sometimes alone. I think there's been a few of us, you get so busy taking care of clients that we're probably a little tired, we're a little exhausted, we feel alone. And there's nothing worse than feeling like, is anyone else feeling like I'm feeling? So you got to have some people. You got to put a crew together, and it's got to be the right crew. And as I said, it might take a little bit of hiccups to find the right people, but once you find them, squeeze them hard, love them hard, take care of them, and they'll take care of you too. But I think it starts with going back to day one. What is your why? What do you want? Figure out those values, figure out your clients. So then therefore, as you start to reach out to people, we're going to start finding the right people. Now, you could also utilize social media. I have done this as well. And this is a great way. Like for an example, I'm going to pick on Uruj because I can see her. But Uruj and I kind of go pretty far back now, actually, after all this time. But she travels a lot, so it's hard to reach her on her cell. So thank goodness for social media, right? To stay in touch with people. So when we were getting this kind of rolling, I left her a voice clip in Instagram. You can do those things. And I think even just a voice clip, sometimes even versus a text, has a nice personal touch. So if there are people in your Instagram that you're like, you know, I really want to reach out to them, I think we could create magic together, leave a voice clip just to say, hey girl, thinking of you, hope all is well. Share kind of your thought process. Let's get together. And if you do a Zoom meetup, great, but I'm still a fan of like old school cup of coffee, right? Again, those connections, right? Meeting with people. So going about reaching out to people that you feel that would add value. Now I'm going to also share a nugget, because between Instagram and I also with LinkedIn is also like one of my biggest tools for reaching and connecting with humans. With LinkedIn, you do get to see who they are, their profile. So you see their resume, you see their background, everything that's colorful, gives you a wide perspective on who that person is, which is great. But here's the catch. They also see that you have seen and looked at their profile. Whereas any other social media, no one's getting, you know, a little like notification being like, hey, Trina, Annex looked at your profile today, right? So there's certain things that, you know, with LinkedIn, it's great, but if you want to be a little secretive, you might just have to drop them a DM to say, I think we should just get together. But utilizing certain tech and tools to connect with the right people, I also feel is great. Now, here's another little spin, and I'm hoping everyone's got a pen and you're writing this down. Reach out to people who make you a little nervous. What do I mean by that? You probably have them set at a bar of a different type of success of where you want to go. If you're a little nervous, a little anxious about reaching out to someone at that like type of level, that's probably where you want to be. That's where you want to take your business. You could reach out to someone who's also new, maybe starting out, because then that way you can kind of create partnerships, packages together that way. But if there's like a different avenue you want to go to, more high profile, high valued clients, sometimes reaching out to people who are just a little bit, you know, just a little, thinking a little bit higher than where you are at, that's also probably where you want to go. We all do this. When you want to move forward in success, we're all doing this. You got to find different avenues. So get a little old school, go meet some people. Again, networking events are great. And reminder, everybody's there for the same thing. So if you're nervous to shake a hand, they probably feel the same way you do. And then utilize some social media to reach out to people, get a little personal, utilize those voice clips. Voice clips, I think, have, again, that personal touch, just to say, hey girl, I've been thinking of you. Hope all is well. I like what you're doing on the gram here. I see you're having some success, but I also like to talk to you about the nitty gritty and like, let's talk about what's going on in the industry. That kind of was my approach with Uruj, who's here today, right? So there's those types of conversations I think that need to be had when you are pulling together your people, okay? just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. And just in time, I see Vanessa has slid in to join us a few minutes early, which is perfect timing, Vanessa. So I'm really excited to introduce Vanessa from the Aesthetic Institute. I feel most of you probably recognize this beautiful face. I've had the opportunity to have a fantastic partnership where we talk about the real deal. We talk about the truth. Our spin is always about what do the people need from us? And together we have built something kind of cool when it comes to the makeup program that I have with the Aesthetic Institute. So here's Vanessa. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Trina. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? So good to see you.
Good. Yeah, I'm great, and good to see you too. Thank you for having me on
You're
today. I'm excited
welcome.
to be
Thank
here.
you. I think this is
Yes.
exciting. So we were just kind of writing down some nuggets in regards to power partnerships, how to find the people, who to kind of aim for. I don't know if you heard a couple little things at the end
Yeah,
there,
I
but
did. Yeah.
we are excited to hear from you.
Okay.
But I think maybe do a quick intro first.
Sure. I mean, I recognize quite a few faces and names on here. Great to see everybody. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm one of the owners of Beauty Depot and the Aesthetic Institute. And my business partner is Sylvia DaCosta. She's coming on Friday to chat with Trina, which she's excited about as well. And yes, I mean, our business, it's looking back, it's kind of crazy to think where we started and where we've grown to today. We also just recently opened up a medical spa called Rain Med Spa and Wellness, yeah, which is really exciting. And something else I'm proud of is I sit on the board for Sedesco Canada. And for those of you that don't know Sedesco, Sedesco is the world standard for aesthetics and beauty. And our school, the Aesthetic Institute, is an internationally accredited school. And I think why that matters to me so much is that in everything that we do, it's always about integrity and trying to raise the standard and the bar in our industry. So that's a more recent, I don't want to say achievement, but just a partnership again. So when Trina asked me to speak about partnerships and how to move into that effortlessly, I started making some notes last night and I'm like, I don't need to make any notes. This is all kind of just in my heart of it's exactly how we've built our business. And I would say, like, what I wrote here is my very first thought that comes to mind is partnerships are everything. They're everything in business. And it's what you do with those partnerships and the relationships that you meet. That's how you grow, not just professionally, but that's also how you grow personally. So to me, again, I would just say, to all of you that are on here, it's you're clearly here because it is about development of yourself and development for your business. And so I really would urge you, before we chat about this more, but I would just urge you to be vulnerable when you meet people. It's okay to share a weakness or an area of improvement that either yourself or your business is experiencing, because I can assure you others are going through the same thing, right? And I think once we can express the challenges that we're feeling, maybe we're not reaching those goals that we've set out to achieve, again, whether it's personally or professionally, once we can open up that conversation and simply communicate and get that off of our chest, it becomes easy. And you can take feedback from others and possibly make a real difference in how someone else might be feeling and inadvertently lift them up as well. So that's just my initial thoughts. Oh, Trina, I think you're muted there.
I was muted.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think you're on like a roll here. And this is what we were just discussing previously too, is just knowing that when you are going to even just say like a simple networking event, everybody's usually there for the same thing and probably
Completely.
feels the same way, right? And it's getting out of your comfort zone a little bit just to know that these are the things that sometimes we just need to do that definitely do make us uncomfortable, but creates like such a huge reward. Like when I think
Completely.
about the beginning with the Aesthetic Institute, I was stuck. This is like your first location, your South
Yeah.
location. And I
Yes.
remember you guys only had Beauty Depot, and then behind was the first classroom before you even
Yeah.
expanded. So I remember popping in at some point, and it was your brother Mike who runs Beauty Depot. And he's like, they're looking for a new makeup instructor. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm hosting all these workshops, I'm doing all these things. And I was like, who's Vanessa and Sylvia?
Yeah.
And it was just one of those meetings that you just knew deep in your heart, even if you were nervous, you were not sure where this would go. Who are these women? Do we share the same values? And I think immediately right off the hop, we just had an instant friendship and a connection that we both, or well, the three of us, I should say,
Mhm.
just immediately were like, this is what we can do together.
That's it. And, to add to that too, I feel exactly the same way, Trina. And looking back to our initial relationship, it's, of course, we have a partnership in business, but I would say what supersedes that is the friendship and the mutual respect that we have for each other. Again, the ability to listen to what each partner needs and always trying to remove ego, right?
Mm,
It's not remove the ego from whatever you might be bringing into something, because sometimes we're almost afraid to bring things up because we make assumptions that, well, maybe that person isn't going to believe in me, or maybe she thinks she's got someone better for the job. Or I don't know if she's that approachable. So do I even go and talk to her? If we can
mm-hmm.
that's actually can be our own ego telling us, not to do that. But again, it comes to a vulnerability. And I think that's what I liked most about you, Trina, too, is that in all the years of doing business together, we've always been able to come to the table and talk about how we can grow for a good that's beyond our own personal needs, right? And
Yes.
when you do things with really good intentions, and in our businesses, we're all in the beauty industry, the intentions are to, when I interview students, I always ask them, tell me, what do you think is the most rewarding or fulfilling aspect of being a working esthetician or a beauty professional? And I would say 9 times out of 10, the individual says, because I want to make people feel great. I want to restore their confidence. I want to create client relationships of value. And so if you
Mm-hmm.
think about that, why are we in business? If you go back to the foundations, we're choosing this industry to make a difference in other people's lives. So remember that. And then when you think about that, that fear should dissipate a bit, because we're really doing this because of the love we have for the beauty industry. So that also should give you the encouragement to be fearless in your communication when you talk to others, because they're doing the same thing as you. And even if they're not directly a beauty professional, I can assure you, if they're a videographer and they can help you with their social media, for example, they're doing that because they're passionate about their industry and they want to bring that to you. Okay. So, that's just a little example. Maybe it's a manufacturer. For myself, I can tell you some of the greatest relationships we have are with manufacturers like Reposage, Serene, Silhouette Tone, LCN, right from the very beginning, are one of our artificial nail lines that we still have this great partnership. But again, these are people that are in business because they have a love for what they do. And when you meet people that are like-minded with good intentions, those relationships just flow easily. So again, I encourage you to think about that. And it's really not that hard when you start to meet people and you're like, wow, they share the same values as I do. And, I think I like this person. And when you like people, it makes it really easy to do business with them. That's what's effortless about it. That was my
We
note
talked
last
about
night.
that yesterday. I'm like, when you genuinely like people, I think you're going to be okay.
Exactly. When you're a people person, and sometimes I always like, Mary, yesterday I was at the North there, and we had 37 students come from St. Francis for a cosmetology tour. And I'm thinking, how are we going to fit 37 students, right, Mary? In the Beauty Depot, it's never been so busy. And then sometimes I think, like, should I be nervous when all these high school kids come in and they look at me, and sometimes they have flat affect, They're not even smiling. You're like, do they care what I have to say? But honestly, I think they do. And I think what makes it easy is, again, that passion for what we do. When you show your passion and enthusiasm and you smile and you look at people, I think naturally people are going to respond to you. And I think they will remember how you made them feel too.
Yes.
So that's what makes it easy, I find, to communicate. It's just be yourself, be your natural person.
I love this. Okay, but real talk. Have we
Yeah.
had any partnerships that have gone sideways?
Partnerships that have gone, you're hinting at me. Let me think.
This is probably in the early years because this is when the lessons are really learned. And then this is the things we start sharing later on. This is what I
Yeah, we
learned from
have. Like,
XYZ.
okay, but is there a particular, can you give me a bigger hint?
No, like I don't know anybody on your end.
Oh, okay, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, let me think here. I just can't, wow, I guess that's a testament to how great we are with dealing with people.
They're
I can't
figuring
really
stuff
think.
out, I think, real fast, right? And I think that always
Yeah.
boils down to, like, again, your values, who you are,
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, like for sure. I guess I would say not major blowouts. I can't think of like major fights, but
Yeah.
communication wise, sure. If there's things that have rubbed me the wrong way, it's trusting intuition. Same with Sylvia. So I'm fortunate to have a business partner. You may not have a business partner, but I assure you, you have people in your lives that you love and trust. And so I would just suggest, if something instinctively is not feeling good about the relationship, what's the key to solving every problem? It's communication. So trust your intuition, make notes on what it is that's exactly the core of the issue. Again, if you can try to remove ego and you're doing it with a good intention, I have just found picking up the phone and a phone call or a Zoom, virtual meeting is far more effective than just sending an email. And also the 24-hour rule is so important when you've got conflict, right? Because initially our ego again comes in and we're upset and we're just going to send a text and we're upset about whatever situation unfolded. But if you really think about it rationally and calmly, make your notes, have that phone call and communicate with that person. And I think that's why when I really do come to analyze all these, we have over, gosh, probably 60 or 70 manufacturers, for example, we deal with, and we have over 20 instructors we deal with. To me, we've really never had blowouts with people because it is communication. And also listening to, where did that other person come from? Give people the benefit of the doubt. And if that relationship really instinctively doesn't feel good, it's also okay to realize perhaps that's not a beneficial partnership too. And sometimes we do have to let relationships go, even relationships with clients. Perhaps their values do not align with your business. And sometimes with students, we do this very detailed 90-minute interview with every student that's coming to the school to really get to know them. And to me, what aligns with us is a person's values. Why are you choosing to come into our industry? And again, Mary, we spoke about this yesterday at the North. The clients that are just, or students coming in that are just looking for a crash course, we're probably not the right school for you. That doesn't align with our values. We are about integrity and preparing you for success in your career and guiding you more than just how to do a service. This is why we have a partnership with Trina, who does business mentorship programs, because that aligns with our values. We want to prepare you for longevity in the industry, not just for a week or two, take a laser class, come in off the street, and then best of luck starting your laser business. Well, I guarantee you it's not going to last. So I might have gone off on a tangent there, Trina.
I think this is great. This is a great share.
Okay.
You're speaking the things that, I think is resonating, and I totally agree. And that's where I think that's where originally the brand yourself was developed in the early years too, was everyone does leave and you're like, good luck with your career. But there's all this other side that sometimes is missing, right? So the birth of the brand yourself started as a workshop, and now here we are.
Right.
The full program.
And that's why we back you
Fascinating.
doing this. And you know, why we also have business diploma programs like the Sedesco Beauty and Spa Management Diploma. It's this type of extra training that can really prepare individuals for success. And it doesn't always just need to be, you know, formal business classes in accounting and marketing. I really place a huge value on personal development, being in touch with your feelings too, and also giving ourselves permission that some days maybe we can't put our best foot forward. Maybe there's some days I don't feel like putting on makeup and doing my hair, and I might let my team know, hey everybody, you know, I have a big project I need to work on, and I would really prefer to do that from home, maybe in my pajamas one day. That's okay too, because I think that's better to give ourselves permission than to always, you know, force and suppress our own emotions too, and ignore that, because when that happens, if it keeps perpetuating, that's when burnout happens, you know, and we don't want to see that. So that's a big lesson I've learned too, is it's balance, right? And giving ourselves whatever those resources are we need to reset, to feel better about ourselves so we can keep having this passion and enthusiasm for 25 years.
I agree wholeheartedly. This is such good stuff. We got a few
Right.
minutes remaining because then Vanessa's going to be popping off. Do any of you
Yeah.
have any questions for Vanessa? Like to pick her brain on anything? Well, we have her here. Don't be shy. I'm just realizing, Krista, is our chat down? Oh, no, there it is. Sorry. You got
Is
So
closed
there?
off on my
it
end.
should be there. I
Yeah,
shared.
it's there. If you're not feeling brave, you can also pop your question in here too.
Yeah, but you know, just to summarize too, I just would have to say again, it's so important to realize that it does take a community to help get you to where you need to be. And for those of you that are here today, you're here for a reason, right? This is exactly what Trina's doing to help set you up for success. So the fact that you're here and you're listening and you're open-minded says a lot about who you are, and already tells me you are successful and that you will continue to thrive in the industry too. So I just think it's a brilliant platform that you've done, Trina, and that you've actually been doing this for years, and always selflessly, which I admire about you. And when you bring people together, it's a space for others to be vulnerable and share how they're feeling, and to inspire, motivate others, because we never know what someone's going to say, how that might just spark a chord with us too. So I think it's great.
I agree. Thank you, friend. I really appreciate
You're
having
welcome.
you on here.
My
Well, if we
pleasure.
don't have any other questions, we'll let Vanessa bounce out.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. Good luck to all of
Appreciate
you.
you.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye, Trina.
Okay, we'll
Bye.
talk to you later, love. Okay, bye for now.
Bye. Bye-bye.
That was good. We get some good nuggets. How's our heart feeling? That's always my question. How's our heart feeling today? And just in time, one of my other work wives, Svetlana Yanova, photographer, not videographer, photographer.
That's my last name correctly.
Welcome. I'm happy that you're here, love. This is going to be good. And just so we see that in the chat too, Krista is including everyone's links too, so you can kind of go check them out at a later time. But you just came in just in a good time. We've been talking about power partnerships.
Love it.
Yeah. So why don't you just do a quick intro of yourself first?
I'm like the regular photographer who hates talking about themselves, because that's the whole point.
I'll kick it off. Svetlana and I have known each other now for at least 13 years. And when I think of good partnerships, partnering up with other people, not necessarily like in the beauty industry, but people who can help you with your brand,
100%.
people you can partner up with. So we do a lot of photo and makeup sessions together. And there's a couple of you we have seen over and over again to help with your branding photos, which is great. So there's so many different spins to creating a great partnership together, and those packages that I was talking about earlier.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, like those are the best. Trina and I, like we've known each other for so long. I have been doing photography for almost 16 years. It's going to be 16 years in July. I'm lucky that I finally am able to specialize in something that I really like to do and not do all kinds of photography. I'm very thankful that I'm in the part of my business where like I can actually say no, and I'm very grateful for that. I only do headshots and branding photos for solopreneurs and businesses, and my goal is to bring visibility to my clients to make them look incredible and confident and beautiful with the help of Trina, of course. And so their business grows, so their business flourishes. So when they're represented online, they look their best. And when they look their best, the clients want to connect with them. That's, the whole point of why we do this. And I think we started doing our headshot sessions like in 2015 or so, I want to say, because that was the year that I was laid off from my corporate job and I was doing photography on the side. And I was probably the only happy person that was leaving the building that day. And Trina and I came in, like thought about it, and like the idea of headshot sessions kind of appeared, where it was like, this would be a great, talking about partnership. And we've since done these sessions twice a year. And yeah, like they've been nothing but amazing. For those of you, are you guys all makeup artists, or does somebody else does something else?
Wide variety of beauty.
Love
From like
it.
aesthetics to clinical to medical, and then all the fun stuff in between. Yeah.
Perfect. I love it. I feel like for the beauty industry, there's so many options for you guys to form like great partnerships, right? You can stay within the beauty industry, right? And then kind of go from there. Like, let's say makeup artist is easy, like connect with photographers, right? Like, and make sure that you find a photographer that you really, really vibe with. That way, like in my mind, like when somebody asks me, like, do you have anybody for hair and makeup? I'm like, yeah, I do. And it's Trina, right? Like I don't have to think, like, I know she's gonna do a great job. It's been years, us working together that I can trust her 150%, right? But it can also partner with, skincare brands and other makeup artists, because you do need referrals. Like when referrals start coming in, right? You need people for a book, let's say, to send the overflow to you, or you'll be sending overflow to them. Like it's always good to have people that are in the same business that where you are. And also, let's say I get a lot of referrals from wedding photographers. I don't do weddings, right? And then they don't do headshots. So it's a good kind of like a win-win for us, because I still somehow get inquiries for weddings. So I send them out and they send headshots to me. Right. So when you find a good person that you can connect with, like see like how you can make it a win-win for you. Right. I know Trina has a ginormous mailing list. That how long have you been like accumulating that? Like years and
Well,
decades?
yeah, because I mean, when you think about it, email marketing probably wasn't the beginning of it all.
Yeah.
So
I'm so
it was
late to
probably the
that.
last
Oh,
14 years.
oh my
But
God.
even then, there's been a cleanup, because once in a while you got
Oh,
to clean out those lists.
oh wow.
But it's great now. We had a conversation on tech yesterday
Oh,
where when you
good.
got the right tech, they tell you, right? So then
100%.
that way it's easy to
Like
kind of
people who are
manage.
not, like responsive or whatever, like you don't need those people anyways, right? Like you want people that are engaged with you,
Yes.
either that or on your socials and stuff, right? In your life and things like that, right? So be genuine, right? Like don't just go meet people just for the sake of, meeting people, and, like be genuine, be yourself. And I feel like you will attract the right partners for your business. Building trust is huge for me. Like I just want to, know that if I'm sending somebody to somebody that I'm working with, they're going to do like an amazing job, right? I don't want to afterwards be like, oh, well, this and this. No, like I want to have people in my corner that have the same values, the same work ethic, as me, so that my reputation is upheld, right? And all of us will benefit from that.
I
What
agree.
other businesses do we have? Hair makeup artists? Any hair makeup artists here?
No, there's only a couple of us. Most of us are probably like full aesthetics clinical there. But I want to pick your brain because you and I were having a conversation about the outside. You're talking about different groups and stuff. Has
Oh,
anyone
yes.
ever heard of like BNI or like actual
Oh,
networking groups? Because we
yeah.
kicked off today's workshop with networking groups.
Yeah.
If
You
you
know
can
what?
talk about that component, that'd be great.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of us, well, me included, I should just talk like, because I'm like, I don't want to assume that everybody is like me. I was so stuck in the photography industry that it was so hard for me to kind of break away from it because it was just consuming me like all the time. It was photographers, this and that. And at some point, I realized that I need people from other industries to refer to me, to promote me, to know about me. I did hear about BNI. It's a networking group that's been around for almost 40 years. There's a few chapters in Calgary. I don't think there's makeup artists in any of them, just saying. Not that I know of anyways. I think Calgary has 19 chapters and there's more around Alberta. And the best part about it is when you are in the group, your seat is exclusive. Like there's no more makeup artists in your group, right? So all the referrals will go to you and you can go visit other groups that don't have makeup artists and promote yourself there. As much as I, again, like I'm an introvert, like I'm only extrovert when I have a camera. I should probably hold my camera. It's like my, it's like gonna be like my support, my support camera. But it's definitely stepping out of my comfort zone, going to networking events and things like that. So BNI has definitely taught me how to be more confident speaking about my business in public. Having my, elevator pitch ready for when I'm meeting people, because I only have so much time to, kind of present myself to somebody that doesn't know about me and things like that. And to be, when we, when my friends' businesses flourish, I flourish, right? So when Trina, your business is growing, I'm growing, and vice versa, right? So we kind of have to be there for each other. It's not a selfish business to be self-employed. Like we have to be out there helping others, being involved in the community, or they're doing different things. I was actually recently approached by a psychology clinic where they're looking to put on like seminars to help teenagers that are struggling with depression, right?
Oh, that's
And
good,
I was like, I would
actually.
love to be involved with that. Like if, if it's something that I can help with, maybe teach them a few things about photography, maybe somebody will decide to make it their career or their hobby or something that's going to get them through difficult things and things like that, right? So kind of like be on the lookout for things where people can benefit from your talents, from your values, from what you can give. It's not just about give me, right? It's not how it works. In order for us to grow, we have to like give back and release and things like that, right? So
I agree. And I'm going to point out something too, because it was on my list, but also Svetlana and I talked about this briefly yesterday. Everybody got a pen handy? Everyone's talking about the same thing. We need support, we need community, we need the right people. Now, when it comes to joining groups and professional groups who want to help you thrive and succeed, make sure it's not costing you an arm and a leg and understand the value that's in return coming back to you. So
yeah.
BNI, I think, is probably one of the smartest. I'm not involved in BNI, not yet anyways, but I've had great opportunities in the past with other groups similar to BNI. Now, there's other support groups, and this is not putting anything down because I've already given everyone, like Alberta Women's Entrepreneur, Svetlana, we've done some networking with them.
Yep.
Right? BDC, I feel like they are those strongest big kahunas I was talking about earlier when we kicked off today. But there are some other groups that will flag it as support, but it's you paying to advertise. I think Svetlana knows where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Exercise caution and make sure that you are asking the right questions in return of what you are getting. And we're not going to drop names for certain groups, but there are groups that are floating around where they want to have you come out and essentially do things for free, but now then you also have to pay for advertising.
Mhm.
In my professional opinion, Svetlana's
like,
already like
Who
hard
thought of
pass.
this? Genius.
You
Oh my
don't
God.
get very far by always doing tradey things.
Yeah.
Does everyone follow me? You can't live off doing trades all the time and paying into so much advertising. You need to understand what's coming back to you. This happened to me. Lindsay and I are, I think, the only like, well, there's Kate's here too. I know Kate's been doing makeup, but most of you are like aesthetics, clinical, medical. So I feel like you guys are probably a little bit more targeted, where for makeup artists, for certain like advertising companies, like even if there's a magazine, I want to know what's the reach of that magazine. Like, where's the distribution? If it's just a magazine that's going out to those who are advertising to their offices, is that my client? Are those people I want to do business with? And Spencer and we got on a tangent yesterday about this because I was like, this is so right. This is the stuff you learn in the early years, but sometimes it happens to you in the middle of your career where you're like, wait, we've been here before.
Yeah,
Why am I spending so much money? And what am I getting in return when they're like, well, can you still come and do this photo shoot for free? And I'm like, pardon me? Where's the value?
Mhm.
And I like where you're going with that, Svetlana. You can give, but you also need to also be like receiving out on the back end. And that's what creates a win-win. So when you're checking out business groups like BNI, I feel like Svetlana nailed it there. They do it right. There's no other competition in there. And
Mhm.
together as that group, they're all working together to refer within. That's the bubble, right? But anything like that's kind of like there's a lot of work you got to do. You got to pay for this, but they still don't pay you in return for this. I don't know. I
It's kind
think
of
you
like the
start to
giver's
kind of
gain
lose.
philosophy, right? Like I
Sorry,
love
say that again, love. I can't hear you all of a
the
sudden.
giver's gain philosophy, right? So, you know, like, yeah, just be aware, but also have, I feel like especially when we were first starting, we want to get our name out there. We want to do this and this and this. We want to be everywhere all at once and things like that, right? But you can't. You
You
can't,
can't.
right? So be selective. It's okay to be selective. And you don't have to be, you know, at every networking meeting. I do have, I'm happy to share, the networking events that I'm attending. Like, you guys, please feel free to message me and stuff like this. There's a few new ones that came out, like speed networking, like things like that, right? Monthly networking meetings with other groups and things like that. Like there's tons in Calgary that do that. See which one works best for you, right? A lot of the companies, BNI, let's say, like we're talking about that, like they do need people that are experienced, right? They're looking for experienced business owners that have great reviews and are established and things like that, right? Because that's where the trust and credibility comes in play.
Mhm.
They want to see us like, okay, have you done this for a while? Like, what's how are you standing against like your peers and stuff like that, right? Can we trust you? Can we trust to send your clients to you? And can we trust you to do a good job? Can we trust you to respond quickly and communicate well and set the expectations and maybe over deliver, like things like that, right? So yeah, but I love beauty industry. Like I feel like for photographers, it's like godsend. I was like, it's like the best referral partner a photographer can wish for, is
I
somebody in
think
the
this is great.
Because even like with the skincare, people like skincare specialists can be like, oh my gosh, like your skin looks amazing, like perfect for a photo shoot, right? Like go celebrate this, like you look great, right? Like you look refreshed, you look younger, you look better, like you look all of those things, right? Just go celebrate, like with women, and that, and Uruj, that, like we're always like family, kids, husbands, blah blah blah, us last, so I don't know what's wrong with us. Why do we do this?
You say no more to that. That's why we're all here.
So
Changing the game, changing the
find your
game.
people, find your partners, find like somebody within your industry, somebody outside of your industry, like, make sure that you
I think this is great
spread your
stuff.
little fingers all over. Yeah.
We got a few minutes left. Does anyone actually have a question for Svetlana that you want to pick her brain on right now? Yes, Rouge. I could see you leaning in.
Well, my question is, where's my picture in the background?
Oh my God. Okay. Also, I like, you know what? It's okay. It's funny because I've had this background since I joined BNI actually, like 3 years ago. And I was just looking at it. I was like, I should switch over because this is like outdated at this point. I was like, I need to put new people up. I will do it actually. Thank you for
Yeah, I think
reminding
this is from the
It's-
pandemic. Now that I recognize some of
Oh,
those
I
faces back
know.
there.
I know. But I'm also and I was like,
Rouge.
what's the best feature? I was like, is it gonna, how much time it's gonna take to create? I was like, okay, but I will. Yeah, because it's like, I was like, it's time. It's been like 3 years. It's time. Yeah.
Was that the one and only question?
Yes, that
Yeah,
is.
My
that's the most
face.
important one.
There's the personal development right there. I looked good in my photo. It should be there.
Where is it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Where is
It's
it? You
a
did look
collective
good
work
in
fabulous.
your
of
photo.
everyone, so it should be there.
I'll move. No, still no.
That's too awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. So Krista's dropped Svetlana's link too in the chat,
Thank you.
as well as my booking link. So if you want to get together before Sunday's Q&A, more than happy to jump on. And if you're not part of our Facebook group, this is where you can get the replays too.
Ooh.
I believe most of us, I think, are part of the Facebook group page now at this point. I'm not going to call it a Facebook group page. Our community. Welcome to the community, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what we got rocking and rolling. This was
Love it.
great. Thanks for joining us, love. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Always love
Always
seeing
a pleasure. So we're going to start to wrap this up. If there's no longer any questions, or does anybody have questions for me? I don't want Allison just hang up. Shane, did you have a question? I thought you had put your hand up. That was an error? Oh,
Oh no, that was just me just saying like, yeah, I do like, I'm a hairdresser and I like photography and all that
I
other stuff. So
love that, Shan. That's perfect.
all this creative
I'm
side.
just
Yes.
happy that add on more services to
Yeah.
please my clients and make sure I'm like a woman that can do all trades for like the cosmetic side.
Like that's perfect. That's honestly, as a
Amazing.
photographer, like to know both hair and makeup is so good, right? Like it just eliminates one person that we have to book. It's so much easier, faster, more efficient. I don't know, I'm sure Trina like talked to you years off on efficiency. She loves that kind of stuff, right? So and yeah, like I do value like hair makeup artists that do both for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
creates an ease.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Being able to provide the things that your people need. I think
Yep.
that's great. So
Yeah.
awesome. Well, guess what? Contest is still running. Bring a friend. Make sure that they mention your name so you can win that free strategy with me. And then more details on early bird for the program is launching tomorrow. I'm really excited. True to my heart. This is
Amazing.
exciting. Thank you for being here. This means a lot to me. It was good to see Mary. It was good to see your face today. Thank you for also sharing on Instagram all the replays and how you've been enjoying everything. Same with you, Rouge, Cheyenne, Kate too. You've been great. I haven't seen you yet, Ananik. I think this is just amazing. It's just nice to kind of have a little community of people, right? This is what we're all here for. So this is amazing. Thank you for being here today. And tomorrow you're back with Krista and I. And guess what? It's going to be a mouthful. Day 4, aligning with your brand. So everything we've been talking about for the last couple of days, we're going to pull some stuff together. It's going to be good. 11 a.m. sharp. Here we go.
Have fun.
Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Felana. Thanks,
Bye.
Krista and Linz.
Thank you.
We'll talk
Thank
to
you
you
for
guys
having
soon. Bye for now.